The sporting world just witnessed a seismic move that no one saw coming. Nike has just inked an exclusive deal with Caitlin Clark, the rising star of women's basketball, in what's being touted as one of the most strategic signings in recent memory. This isn't just another sponsorship deal, it's a game changer. Nike's swoosh has landed on a rising superstar, and in the process, the brand has sent a strong message to their biggest rival, Adidas. It's like Nike stood at the three-point line and drained the winning shot in Adidas' face. And while Adidas is still processing the shock, Nike is already celebrating what could be the start of a new era in women's basketball. But before we proceed further, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Caitlin Clark has been on the radar of basketball aficionados for quite some time now. Known for her clutch performances, deep three-pointers, and incredible court vision, Clark plays with a swagger that mirrors her confidence. Her persona on the court is magnetic. She doesn't just play the game, she commands it. But her appeal goes beyond the stats and the scoreboards. Clark has cultivated a fan base that spans across demographics, bringing a level of excitement and engagement that has been rare in recent women's college basketball history. Nike saw that, and they weren't going to let the opportunity pass. For Nike, this is more than just signing a talented athlete. It's about securing the future. In Caitlin Clark, Nike sees a superstar in the making, and they want to ride this wave from the very start. This isn't their first rodeo when it comes to signing big names. The brand's knack for identifying talent and attaching itself to legends in the making is practically a corporate tradition. Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. Nike knows the power of a name and the potential in an emerging one. They're betting that Caitlin Clark is the next in line. The timing couldn't be more perfect for Nike. With Clark gaining attention not just for her skill but also for her leadership and charisma, she embodies the modern-day athlete that brands crave. She's competitive, but not in a cliché, Hollywood sort of way. She's driven and focused, yet her love for the game shines through her play. When she pulls up for a shot 5 feet beyond the arc with a hand in her face, you can see that confidence that comes from endless hours in the gym. And that's exactly what Nike wanted to tap into, a story of relentless work and passion. Adidas, on the other hand, has been aggressively expanding its roster in recent years, especially in women's sports. They've been banking on establishing dominance in sectors where they historically lagged behind Nike. Signing top athletes and launching new collaborations, they seem to be gaining traction. But with Caitlin Clark, Adidas now faces a significant blow. She's the kind of player who isn't just popular among existing fans. She's bringing new ones to the game. This deal means that Nike isn't just doubling down on its current market. It's actively poaching a rising segment of Adidas' future audience. Clark's relationship with Nike isn't just about the brand's name on her sneakers. It's about narratives, connections, and expanding the game. She has often talked about growing up watching stars dominate with the iconic swoosh on their gear. Now, she's the next name in that lineage, and that's a narrative that resonates deeply with fans. It's a multi-layered story, one where she transitions from an inspired young athlete to an inspiring one herself. For Nike, this isn't just about putting their logo on a jersey. It's about embedding themselves into her story from here on out. From Caitlin's side, this isn't just a business deal, it's a statement. It's like when a player hits a dagger three-pointer and just walks away without looking back. It says everything without needing to say anything at all. Clark's focus on building her brand while staying committed to her game shows a maturity beyond her years. She's not just inking a contract for the sake of dollars. She's choosing a partner that aligns with her aspirations. It's a savvy move for an athlete whose career is still so young, yet already so bright. The public perception of this deal is already taking shape. There are those who see Caitlin Clark as the next big thing in basketball, and they're thrilled to see Nike putting its weight behind her. But there are also skeptics, there always are. Some question whether she can sustain this level of attention, or if Nike is putting too many eggs in one basket. Yet, if history is anything to go by, Nike's track record of betting on young talent speaks volumes. They've done their homework, and they're not ones to dive in without confidence. Yet, what makes this situation even more bewildering is Clark herself. Caitlin had always been unpredictable, both on and off the court. She had the kind of personality that could light up a room or leave people scratching their heads. Her decision to leave the WNBA was, in typical Clark fashion, sudden and dramatic, but perhaps it wasn't all that surprising given her history. She had always marched to the beat of her own drum, caring little about the expectations others placed on her. If there was one constant in Clark's career, it was her ability to shock and awe, and this departure was no exception. As Clark packed up her bags and left the league behind, Her impact lingered like a shadow over the young NBA. The bankruptcy was a direct result of her absence, but the cracks in the system had been there long before she left. For years, the league had been trying to find its footing in a sports market that didn't seem particularly interested in watching women's basketball, at least not at the level required to sustain a major professional league. While Clark had brought attention, she alone couldn't solve the underlying issues. The implications of this bankruptcy extend far beyond just the collapse of the WNBA. Clark's departure, and the league's subsequent downfall, sent a strong message about the state of women's sports. It became clear that no matter how talented or charismatic a player is, building an entire enterprise on one person's shoulders is a risky gamble. For other leagues and sports organizations, the lesson was stark. Don't make the same mistake. The business of sports is unpredictable, and banking on a single athlete to carry a league is a dangerous bet. The WNBA's missteps serve as a cautionary tale for how not to handle the rise of a generational talent. At the same time, the story of Clark's exit also brings to light the importance of player autonomy in modern sports. Caitlin Clark wasn't going to be boxed in by the expectations of a league or its fans. Her departure, while jarring, was a reminder that athletes hold immense power in today's world. They are brands unto themselves, and when someone of Clark's stature decides to walk away, the effects are felt throughout the entire ecosystem. Her move shattered the myth that players, even in women's sports, must stick around to help their league survive. Clark had other ambitions, and whether those took her to another league or a completely different venture, she made it clear that her career wasn't beholden to any one organization. While the bankruptcy made headlines and captured the attention of the sports world, it's impossible to talk about this without addressing the human side of the story. What must it have been like for the other players, many of whom had dedicated years of their lives to building the WNBA? For them, Clark's departure wasn't just the end of an era. It was the end of their livelihoods. The collapse of the WNBA left hundreds of athletes and staff members in a state of limbo, wondering what would come next. Some had already sensed the writing on the wall, but that didn't make it any easier. For many, the WNBA wasn't just a job. It was a passion, a dream come true, and now it was gone. In the aftermath of Clark's decision, the sports world collectively held its breath, waiting to see what her next move would be. Would she sign with a European team, join another league, or perhaps venture into something entirely new like entertainment or business? Whatever her future held, one thing was certain: Caitlin Clark wasn't done making headlines. If anything, her decision to leave the WNBA only added to her mystique. She was a player who did things on her own terms, and that's exactly how she left. The WNBA's declaration of bankruptcy in the wake of Clark's departure was a sad ending to a story that could have been so much more. The league had hoped to build its future around a single star, but that star shone too brightly to be contained. As the dust settled, it became clear that the WNBA's failure wasn't just about losing Caitlin Clark. It was about the league's inability to create something sustainable, something that could stand on its own 2 feet regardless of who was playing. Clark was a spark, but the fire never caught on in the way the league had hoped. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content. We thrive on your feedback, so be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Until next time, keep discovering and stay tuned.